Hayes, what you got for me?
Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live match preview. And today we have pretty much the co-host of the channel at this point, man, like E in the building. What you saying, my bro? How you doing?
I'm good, fam. Back for the the dynamic duo. You know what I'm saying? Not to be confused with other people who just have them sitting on the stream yard, not doing nothing, waiting aimlessly for the stream to start. But I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying?
Not generally, like Jimmy said, I didn't expect, man. I thought just like us, things stop, we go live. I just speak. This is what I'm used to. But obviously, Jimmy's hosting that. He was hosting a live that time. So I didn't know the music was gonna play for so long. So he caught me off guard. He generally I'm hearing rhythms play. I'm like, okay, well, I'm guessing we're just gonna have to wait for the rhythm to finish, innit? That's all
bro.
it was.
Bro, you know what's crazy? Sometimes like Jimmy will put like some avatar over it. So it's like, okay, cool, minor, because the stream's not started. But obviously it's on your channel. I just sees you and Jimmy, and you're just sitting here because you don't want to bop your head because it's Chelsea song. So you're just sitting here, just like, just chilling, bro.
I would have been like bobbing my head and shit, like, all right, this is a tune, but then I'm cheering Chelsea, Chelsea, and I'm like,
yeah, like, that's a clip, bro. If you bop your head in it, they're gonna use that.
I wasn't fucking with the tunes. I really wasn't fucking with. I was trying not to anyway. But yeah, like we are back, normal settings this time round. And obviously, big game this weekend. If you don't know, people, I'm sure you fucking should know by now. It's Tottenham versus Manchester United. Spurs aiming to make it 5 in a row. 5 wins in a row. I don't think we've done this to them since I've seen a stat saying back in the 1920s. What this record goes all the way back to. So we're talking about over 100 years. We haven't beaten Manchester United in a row, 5 in a row. And it looks like there's a big possibility ahead of us this weekend. Tough game, but we did have some confidence, I suppose you could say, built into us from that performance against Copenhagen. Let's just catch up on it there, E. Where are you at with that Copenhagen performance? Were you really impressed? Obviously, I saw your reaction, but let the people know.
Yeah, no, I was ecstatic, man. That was, in my opinion, the best performance I've seen all season. And I know people will quickly say, oh, it's just Copenhagen and stuff like that. And I understand, level of competition plays into it, but it's not like we've just smacked aside every team that's weaker than us so far. So, like, we struggled against Bodo Glimt, struggled against teams like Wolves. So, just to say it's just Copenhagen, I don't accept that as an excuse because you have to play who you have to play. But first of all, I'm happy that Pellegrini got at least like 50 minutes of rest. Of course, Brennan Johnson, the fucking idiot, had to go and get himself sent off, so Pellegrini had to play. And I feel bad for Xavi Simons because even though he probably would have got subbed anyway, he had to get subbed pretty much guaranteed because, you know what I'm saying, Brennan Johnson's a fucking idiot. But I think we played very well, man. I saw a lot of stuff that I've been asking for ages, which is our ability to beat a press, our ability to do the link-up play, our ability to have possession with intent, the ability to run the midfield. I saw all of that against Copenhagen. So that game represented that these sets of players can do that. Now, again, I know level of competition and all that stuff, but that's the first time I've really seen us dominate a game in the midfield. And it's like once the midfield gets dominated, the defense and the attack just kind of flow with it. And it even gave like players like Xavi Simons a lot more like confidence in terms of that he could just go wherever he wants to go and do what he wants to do because he ain't got to worry about the defensive work. Because Xavi Simons has actually been a positive defensively since he's come in.
I'm so confused, and everyone tells me he's weak, he gets bullied. I'm like, bro, I don't think
he's been a positive defensively.
Yeah,
but the only problem is that I don't want to see him defensively. That's the problem. But when you're not dominating the midfield, you kind of have to help out defensively as a 10, and he does that. But with Bentancur and Sarr and obviously like the defense pushing up, but we were able to control the midfield with Kolo Muani dropping back as well. And that allowed Xavi Simons to basically not do defensive work. He was able to roam, go wherever he wants, you know what I'm saying, and just impact the game. And we saw the best of Xavi Simons when we're doing that. So I don't know. Obviously, going forward, it's not like Bentancur and Sarr is the obvious answer in midfield for all these games because Palhinha is just better than both of them. But it's going to be interesting. Now we have some actual questions of Bentancur in the 6 has proven that he can play at a high level instead of in this double pivot. So do you go back to this double pivot of Palhinha and Bentancur? Do you start Palhinha as a lone 6? Do you start Bentancur? Or what? Now we have some questions as to going back into the game, because going from Palhinha and Bentancur is a very negative duo to just having Bentancur and we play way better. I think it's good questions for the manager to be thinking about going into this game.
Yeah. Look, I think it's some great points made regarding the midfield. And also when you talk about the game itself, I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to take a lot of positives from it, like you did, yeah. And I'm not trying to do the we played Copenhagen thing, but when you actually look at the game, I'm sort of watched it back and analyzing how it played out. They sort of gave it to, they sort of just said, look, you man do your thing. We're going to sit back and see if we can counter you every now and then. They made it very easy for us to play through the lines. It sort of allowed us to progress the ball through midfield because we didn't have no one pressing us. As we know, when you look at the worst performances from us this season, it was Bournemouth, it was Chelsea, it was Wolves when they had that high press and so we couldn't play through it, especially when we didn't have no Romero in the games. It's impacted us heavily. And I think him coming into the team as well against that Copenhagen, one of the biggest things we saw is him just playing through the lines and skipping Bentancur and Sarr. One thing that we've missed is although Bentancur was good in that game, I think he was really good. The level of opposition, I think, helped massively and the lack of intensity helped. But what one thing Romero does is, and what they done well is sort of in that 3-2 build-up, is them two sort of, him and Sarr just occupied the positions in the midfield, but didn't pick up the ball. They were just sort of angling themselves and sort of being shadows to allow Odobert to pick it up a little bit deeper. Xavi, and we saw a lot of times Xavi dropping really deep to pick up the ball, sort of replacing Pedro Porro when he was bombing down the right. And what I liked more than anything, and I suppose this is one of the things we know, is Udogi's work down that left-hand side. Like Udogi, we've missed it massively. Like
we've missed it.
We all love Spence. I think everybody loves the intensity Spence gives, you know, the passion, his defensive work. We've missed having just a pure defensive player like him at a fullback for a long time. But what Udogi gives us going forward just is so much more than what Spence can. He's just an attacking threat. He gives us an option out on that left. He also does what he does really well is interchanges with Odobert. I think one thing, I don't know if people notice, is you'll see him invert, but then you'll see him overlap, and they'll sort of take turns to sort of take up that touchline position on receiving the ball at their feet. And that's what works. I think Odobert works really well when he has Udogi next to him, because now he's got someone that he combined with. Whereas when it's Spence is more reserved because he's more reserved. He's cutting in. He'll invert himself. But then more than anything, naturally, every time he gets the ball out on the left, he wants to play it back because his right foot is favoured. He's just naturally he's angling himself backwards. Yeah. So it sort of limited us there. But if you can, did you get the thing that I sent over to share? Yeah, because you spoke quite a bit about Bentancur. And I know, and I wanted to reference this because we spoke about this maybe a few weeks ago. Because Sava, I remember when he mentioned about, we were talking about midfielders, and one thing that us two is, if you click on the graph, not even the tweet itself, is I remember when he said he was going on, and me and E were trying to explain to people, yes, Bentancur has been a more progressive passer across his career. But what this graph actually shows is the ups and downs of Bentancur and how different managers have impacted how he plays football. He's a completely different player under different managers. You can see the peaks here. At Juventus, he had a peak under Andrea Pirlo. And it's funny enough that his peaks in offensive football came under two of his worst managers in his career, in Pirlo and Postecoglou, because those two literally were awful times for the club. But he was given the most freedom and license to roam forward. Now, I'm not saying that he's a poor attacking player, but there's no coincidence that those were the two worst periods for the team when he's being the more attacking threat and giving you and being the player that's relied upon to play forward the most. So when you look at it here, you can see now with Frank, obviously his progressive pass has gone it's the worst it's been in his entire career, going back to when he was a kid at Juve. But chat to me, E. What do you see when you see this? And what are the biggest things that point out to you, dating back to when we did have that conversation about the pairing?
It pretty much sees what we've seen on the pitch. Like, sometimes there are stats where it's like you're watching the game and the stat don't make sense to you. This stat makes sense because if you just watch Bentancur play, this is very this is what happens. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about his passing forward accuracy as well, because his accuracy passing forward is also atrocious. So even when he tries to play the ball forward, it's atrocious. But not only do I blame Bentancur for that, I also blame, again, like the whole setup for the team, because, for example, against Chelsea, and like especially when we get pressed in general, players don't show themselves for the ball. I think Chelsea was a very good example for that, where it was pretty much just Danso who was available from Vicario, and then after that, no one's really available because Chelsea will put the press on and no one's showing themselves for the ball. No one's making that extra effort to be open for the pass. So I'm not going to just act like, oh, just Bentancur is just terrible. Like, no, it's a mix of a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
But one of those things is also Bentancur isn't the best when it comes to progressing the ball. Like, he just isn't. He isn't better than a lot of other players. And a lot of that's to do with his injuries. And also a lot of that is to do with he's just not that type of player. By nature, he isn't. And it's fine. There is space for Bentancur in the squad. It's not like we have to just up and sell him because he is useful. He's not a bad player. But there are just players that are just better than him in those aspects. Like, Sarr's just better at progressing the ball forward. Bergval's just better at progressing the ball forward. It's not personal. It is what it is. Bentancur is better defensively than both of them. So there's ups and downs, and we don't have an all-action midfielder who can do everything, who could really solve this kind of problem. But it kind of makes sense because Bentancur has always been like a keep the ball ticking kind of guy, innit? That's all he's kind of been. And he can play the ball forward. He's not necessarily bad at it, but he's not that caliber of player. He's not someone who's going to break the lines all the time. He's not someone that's going to create. He's just someone, he's like Locatelli, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to see Locatelli do anything outstanding. He's just going to do what he has to do on the pitch, which is keep the ball ticking, not lose it, and just be chilling. So that's just what Bentancur is. And it's not bad, but I don't want people to like overestimate in an effort to either put down Sarr or Bergval. I don't want them to then overrate Bentancur because of that. Look what Bentancur does. It's like we can appreciate all three players and what they bring and what they lack, but let's not like put down players to bring up players. I think that's disingenuous.
No, definitely. And that's where I think the biggest point was going back to that, because when we was having the conversation, when I was in particular with Sava, he just kept pointing to the stats, you know, the average. He averages more progressive passing than them across his career and so on. And it's sort of, he was slighting Sarr and Bergval, but the point I was trying to put across was the averages don't make sense because Bergval's only, and Thing have only worked up to, what, not 19 and 20? Like, they've only had 2 years. They've only had 2-3 seasons of actual football. And you can see here in Bergval's in Bentancur's first 2-3 seasons, he never averaged more than whatever the peak was there, around 7 passes. And he sort of was pretty low before he had a peak at the Andre Pirlo time when he was a bit older. So I think it's clear to see, definitely with the midfielders that we have. And when you read it there on the side, our most commonly used double pivot is the 32nd and 11th percentiles for progressive passes. That's just our biggest problem, is the lack of progressive football from the back. But I do think the system hasn't helped it at all. I do think at times, like you said, when Franca's, when the players aren't showing for the ball like they did against Chelsea. But do you know what it is? Chelsea, I don't want to take too much from that game, you know. As much as it was a really bad game, I think it was just that, a really bad game. And I think we're just going to look at that back across the season and say that was just our worst performance. I don't think we're going to have a performance like that. So I generally don't want to take too much from the game. But the one thing in that game where the midfield just couldn't work was Caicedo was just too good. Like, I think that's another thing. Like, we have to take into consideration sometimes the team we're going up against. And when we go up against these teams like Chelsea, Manchester United, we need to expect that sometimes they're going to have some better quality than us. And look, going into this game, Manchester United ahead in this weekend, we're going up against a midfield where they're probably just going to have a 2-man midfield. We've seen that all season. I doubt they make any changes to that. And what's going on in the chat?
Donna Cullen just up to his usual antics, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely Donna because I'm new here. You're definitely not new here, Donna. We know it's you. Turban, you know, like it's not even a chat. That's I don't even know what to call that. Is that like offensive? It's definitely not.
What, a turban?
Calling this a turban should slightly offensive to the people that wear turbans. I would
it
think
because it don't look anything like a turban.
It don't look anything. If someone did wear a turban, I think they'd find that offensive.
I said, could you please not ban me?
See,
and you got exposed, Rook. I'm not being zesty or
see, you know your place, Ted. Donna,
as soon as
calm down.
Like, oh, it's Donna. Nah,
you were gonna get a ban, not even for being zesty, or you were gonna get a ban for just.
Never mind. PFC done gulag anyway. Hey, that wasn't me, bro. That was.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah, no, just allow all of that, Donna, man. We could do without any of your stuff. But yes, this weekend we're coming up against midfield. Casemiro and Bruno is likely to be the duo. I don't think we're going to have as many problems trying to surpass it. But you tell me, where are the biggest threats for Manchester United? And when you look at them, are you afraid in this game?
I'm not afraid, but I'm not confident either. It's going to be a very much, I say end to end, but there's going to be chances for both teams. And you know, with United just have a lot of like individual quality. I don't think their setup as a team is that good. I don't trust their manager at all. I'm not fooled by the fact that they've won some games now. I think it's just individual quality, if I'm being honest. Not to say that United are a bad team, but they just have a lot of players who can do something. They have a lot of goal scorers, even if it's players who lack some form of technical ability. They just get on the score sheet. So it's going to be difficult because like we have technical players in terms of our attack, but they're not goal scorers. But they have somewhat limited technical footballers, but they're goal scorers. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I'm not necessarily nervous for the game. However, I'm not going to be that guy and be like, oh, we're just going to roll over these men, because I don't think that's true either. I do have a lot of confidence in our defense because, I mean, I always maintain we have one of the best defenses in the league. But at the same time, just where does the goal come from? The goal will come for us, but where does the goal come from? Because it's only a few games, like 3 games in which we haven't scored. But apart from those 3 games, we played, 15 games at this point? And we've scored in so many, even if the attack is so bad, we've still managed to score goals in multiple games. So I feel like we will score. It's just where will the goal come from? And then when does the goal come as well? Because if we're down 2-0 and then we score, what good does it make?
But doesn't the last game give you some confidence in the way that we attack? Like, obviously, like I said, I don't think that it's going to pan out the same because Manchester United naturally just have a lot better players than Copenhagen. But when I look at sort of, say, for example, Xavi, yeah, he would have picked up a lot of confidence in that game. And I'm actually glad he came off at the 1 hour mark because of Brennan Johnson, because ultimately he's going to be more hungry. He's going to be looking at this game in the weekend and he needs to prove himself. Back at home, we're not going away, so there's no travel as well. But I just take confidence in just the combinations, the way the players were actually playing. I feel like Thomas Frank didn't necessarily take the shackles off, but he allowed them to play with a little bit more freedom. The combinations just looked a little bit better because the players on the pitch technically were at a better level. I think Colin Mwani, Odobert, Xavi, that they seem like players that will all get along pretty well. To be fair, they might all know each other back from PSG days, so they may actually have a little connection, a little link up. Because I know they all play for PSG, so they all got that little link together. And whenever I see training videos, I always see Colin Mwani with Odobert and telling them, man. So I'm sure there's a little link there, but they looked really good, just bouncing it off each other. And Mwani's drew a goal, man. He looked impressive in that game the other day, sharp. Obviously, in front of goal was poor. Should have had a goal or two. But he looked a lot better. So I can take confidence from the way that he played midweek and think, do you know what? Against Manchester United, I think he's getting on the score sheet. And when we look at Man United, there's plenty of holes in that back line, especially in those wide areas. Now, that's where I think the biggest lineup decision is going to come from Frank, is how he sets us up at the back. Is it going to be Jed Spence to sort of combat that Mbeumo Diallo right-hand side, because that is dangerous. There's nothing that we can try to downplay Man United as much as we want. But Mbeumo is a player you can't really give any space in behind, and he plays really high and wide. He sort of stretches the pitch. And with him out there, if you do play Udogie, there's going to be a lot of space in behind for him to operate. And especially having Amad Diallo is sort of going to be putting him in a lot of 2v1 situations where he won't be as comfortable as Spence will. I suppose that's going to be a massive lineup choice for Frank to make. What do you do to combat that? Do you lean on us attacking better, or do you want to stop Mbeumo?
Nah, I'd rather attack better, to be honest. I'd rather Udogie starts. And I think it's important that we start off on the front foot, because like I don't want us to sit back and basically do what Chelsea did. Well, what we allowed Chelsea to do, not what Chelsea did. But I don't want to sit back and play more defensive. I'd rather go on the offensive, because it's important for us to not only get the first goal, but like if we get to a point where we're in a position where we're winning because of our attacking play, then it's important to make defensive substitutions. I'd rather make defensive substitutions later and be winning than to make offensive substitutions later and be losing or drawing, because at that point the game can come away from you at any point. So I know Mbeumo, Sesko and Cunha have been starting to link up, and they've been starting to finally like get their chemistry together and stuff like that. But not to say I'm not worried, because that's crazy. But I just have a lot, like if we have Pedro Porro in our team and we're still one of the best defenses in the league, then I just have that much faith, because I know Pelinha's going to play. So to have our basically our four, man, Vicario, Romero, Van de Ven, Pelinha, that little four there, I think it just gives more license for Udogie and Porro to get forward, to be honest. And I think if Amad plays with Mbeumo, that gives Amad even more license to push up. Yes. So if we play with two wingers, that might either make Amad a bit more reserved because we have two wingers, or he'll just push up anyway, and then we can just really counter-attack them wings in it. Because playing with a back three, De Ligt he's not slow, but he's not that quick. Maguire's slow. Euro's quick, to be fair. It just depends on that back three that they play. But I think we could cause a lot of issues. I think the only problem is, again, can we score the chances we create? And can we score before United? Because United, they just have players who can just score goals in it. You know what I'm saying? Like
they got a few, but I don't think they got better. Like Mbeumo, Cunha, Bruno. That's it, really.
That's three more than us.
I mean,
Cunha... Well, two more. If you want to say Van de Ven, sure, but like, that's two more than us, bro.
No, I would have put Cunha at a similar level to Kudus. Like, but I know Cunha got more goals last year, but like his inconsistency, and he's really good with his all-round play, but in front of goal, he can be very hit and miss. I mean, he's a goal scorer, but he's at a similar level to Kudus. Like, he's barely a goal scorer in that sense.
Sesko is a goal scorer.
Saying Sesko and Casemiro, Z, you just come in there and waffle.
I'd accept Casemiro over Sesko, bro. And Amad, bro, these men saw Amad score.
Amad gets like a couple goals every now and then. He's a good player. Again, a very good player. But we're not going to overrate him and start calling him a goal scorer because he scored a banger last week and a couple bangers here and there. No, look, I would say what you've said there. The defense and how they set up at their back line is also important. And one thing I remember I was reading some Twitter thread or something, and they were pretty much, it was like a tactical breakdown thread, where they were pointing out how Manchester United, a lot of times in this season, their back line easily gets pulled out of position. Sort of when you double up on them on that left-hand or right-hand side, and you use sort of a fullback and a winger. It's sort of how we used Odobert and Udogie in the last game, having one pull in, and then having one of them operate in the inside space, but sort of double checking their run to drag defenders out of positions. Man United defenders been caught in that situation quite a lot this season. So if we do tend to double up on them on that left-hand side, we can look to take advantage. But it's the quality that we're going to need in the final third. And that's the difference between us and Manchester United. I'll agree with you, is that the quality in the final third for them is a lot better, and they can rely on their moments and just creating moments from those players. And, you know, we've had that problem against them for a long time. Even the last time that they beat us, it was moments from Ronaldo that got them through that game, scoring the hat trick, scoring that banger from 25 yards out, and then scoring some of the goals he did score. So I think when you look at their attack right now, it's just moments. They've just got moments now. I don't think they have enough sustained creativity to break us down. And that's when you say, Z, like, you don't think Spurs' defense is that good. Our defense can be got at. You're definitely right about that. I think when you look at some of the games, Bodo Glimt, Monaco, teams create chances against us. Now, the quality of those chances aren't necessarily that high, but when you've got the players you do, a lot of these edge of the box chances we've seen, they will score goals. And that's where we tend to give up. A lot of our chances are on the edge of the box. I'd go back to the games against Villa, the games against Bayern in pre-season, where we gave up a lot of opportunities and we were made to pay for it. So probably going to have to make sure that if we are playing with the Dogi backline, we tend to double up on the out on that left-hand side, I'd probably bring in Paulinho into that midfield, not Bentancur in this game, just because we need someone who's just going to be more aggressive in winning their duels. But the pairing of the midfield, how do you go about it? Because like we said, you could double up, and this might be one of the games to go with the double pivot of Bentancur, Paulinho for some, because you can put them in there and they'll pretty much do the job of shutting up Bruno, closing out all the space that he's going to create, and just shutting him and Casemiro up, and trying to give Xavi just license to roam in front. Or you can do what we done in the last game and you go maybe not Bentancur, but you opposite Paulinho and a Saar, or Paulinho and a Bergvall, to give you that better progressive play. What are you saying?
I think because it's a big game, he's going to go with the double pivot, the main double pivot, to be honest. Won't exactly be excited about it, but it kind of is what it is, isn't it? I don't know. That's the thing about Thomas Frank. He does so many things right and then undoes them, and it's like, why did you do that? So I don't know what he's going to do. Paulinho has to start the game just off of merit, I'm assuming. But low-key, man, I'm not even going to lie. Part of me is, I'm trying to put myself like, if I was manager, what would I do? Part of me, low-key, would debate even starting Paulinho. And it's not because Paulinho's bad. It's not because Paulinho's not our best midfielder. But it's just styles make fights, isn't it? That's what I'm thinking of. Styles just make fights. And it wasn't until this game, or the Copenhagen game anyway, that I realized, like, how much better it is to beat, or how much easier it is to beat presses when Paulinho's not in the team. And I'd forgotten over a while because Paulinho just plays damn near every game. But I remember saying, like, at the start of the season, like, I think it was when we played Bournemouth, that Paulinho's just terrible at playing out from the back and he just helps us get caught. And I just forgotten over a while, like, it was like that because Paulinho just kept playing anyway. But then Paulinho got dropped for this game. We got pressed and we were bypassing the presses with Bentancur and Saar and them, man. I'm like, yo, I forgot we could do this. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like their press wasn't organized, though, man. It was a messy press. It made it very easy for us. Very easy. That's why I don't really take too much from the game. Like, I'm really impressed.
I ain't gonna lie. I just think if United are a team to press us, or if Thomas Frank predicts them pressing us, I wouldn't start Paulinho, in my opinion. That's
the thing is, though, they're heavy on duels, man. Like, if you look at the game they played against Liverpool, one of the biggest problems they cause is just they don't, for what, like, if we press them, it doesn't make a difference anyway because they're just going to play over the press. They're long, direct. They're going to do a lot of long balls into the channels. I expect them to try and get the ball out to Mbeumo. If Sesko does play, up to Sesko, and they don't plan on winning that first ball. It's winning the second ball. And we need players in that midfield that are going to be able to be combative to make sure they're winning that second ball. Bentancur can be that guy, but he's more reckless than Paulinho. So I'm more afraid if you play Bentancur, he'll put himself in a scenario where he's going to do something stupid, give the ball away. Because that let's have it right, that's the problem with Bentancur more than anything, because he gives the ball away in our half, and teams tend to transition on us, and they've scored goals from it, or they get really good chances from it. So that's where I'm hesitant to play Bentancur in a game like this. Because you are right, he did look better in the last game. We played through the press a lot better. But even when they play together, Paulinho's the more... He has to play more forward. He's doing the job that we would think Bentancur should be doing. He's pressing, he's stepping up. And that's where I think Bentancur looks better sometimes because he's doing just the defensive work. He's not being tasked to do the same job as Paulinho in that game. Whereas in the last game, we're seeing Paulinho press up a lot higher and take up a more advanced position in the pitch. You know what I mean? So when I'm looking at this, I can understand what you're saying. It makes sense. You know, go throw Bentancur in there. Good game as well. But I just, like I say, lean on the man that's been the best player in our midfield this season is just throw Paulinho in there. What about this question from PFC though? Because I suppose it would go to what you're saying, and if he does start Paulinho, he says he thinks the way Frank sets up invites pressure to the other teams. Do you think he could invite the pressure from Manchester United?
I feel like that's how it's going to go, to be honest. I think when we set up against teams that are, I mean, it's debatable, but if you want to say United's better than us, Thomas Frank has set up to invite pressure. Problem is, though, is what happens when we get the ball in those areas, and that goes back to like the whole goal scoring thing. Like we can create, we've got technically sound players, but I can't lie, that scared me for a second, bro. I can't.
Shout out to Ulrika, man.
Hey,
we're not doing no banter over here today. We're just talking football.
We just
That's
talking
what we
football.
do
Salute to you,
right?
madam. But shit, he scared me, bro. But yeah, it's just we have those technical players that could create something. And the whole time we were playing Copenhagen, I was like, bro, imagine Kudus with these man just linking up, bro. Just the man them up top, linking up. Bro, I was like, it brought a tear to my eye. I ain't gonna lie, he really low-key brought a tear to my eye. Because I'm like, yo, I never thought I'd see this type of football again. And it's like, this is what I envisioned when I'm like, bro, that we can dominate this midfield. But the question was always in the midfield. If we set up with Paulinho and Bentancur, we will not dominate the midfield. And it's not because they're not good players, because obviously we have to PSA everything nowadays. Bro, that duo, when was the last time Paulinho and Bentancur as a duo dominated the midfield? I can't remember the last time they did that. Like, it doesn't happen. It really it doesn't happen.
They don't dominate on the ball. Off the ball, they do, though.
Defensively, they do. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if we start that duo, that means the other team's going to dominate the ball and we're just going to do the defensive thing, which is fine if it works. But when it doesn't work, aka Chelsea, then we're looking at the manager like, oh, shit, what happened now? You know what I'm saying? And when it doesn't work,
I feel like the biggest problem against Chelsea was that they matched up to be defensive just like us. So when we was expecting them to be really good in possession, they didn't have to be really good in possession because they were just really good defensively, similar to us. So I think Manchester United could do the same thing, if you get what I mean. I think that they could match us and go really strong defensively to try to stop us because they know our attack isn't that good, but make sure they're not concede a goal. And we could have a similar problem if we start with that pivot.
Which is fair, to be fair. But that's why I'd rather like take initiative first and go with more of an attacking lineup, because I don't want us to start the game off basically just saying, you know what, yeah, you man dominate the ball and we'll counterattack. I don't want to do that personally, because I've always rating the midfield is a bit too strong, but like I've always maintained that this midfield is better than what people make it out to be, and people just hate the midfield, because they want to like prop up Thomas Frank, so they'll just shit on the midfield more than it needs to be. But I believe that we can make this like a good game. Like, you know, I really think obviously dropping Paulinho is a hot take, and I'd understand why no one agrees with it because he's our best midfielder. But I just mean in a sense of, if we set up with that duo, we're basically asking the other team to play to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember against Everton, like it was kind of iffy in the first half. And then once we got the 2 goals, we had Paulinho and Bentancur basically just cleaning everything up in that midfield. And it's like, in those scenarios, it's great to have them because we have the lead already and we just need them to just clean up in the midfield. And Everton created some chances, but they weren't like crazy chances, innit? That's where that duo shines. But to play them from the get-go is like we're basically doing that work and we haven't even got a lead yet. So if we concede first, then it's looking peak. So I would rather we go for it first, because United have like a decent defense. Like they're good defensively. Decent's a bit of a violation. They're good.
No, they're decent. But you're pushing it by saying they're good.
No, they've got some good defensive players though.
It's a team that was dominated by Grimsby, you know. at the
No,
back.
I know that, but like that's one game and it's Amarim in it. Like in my opinion, their manager's holding them back in it. But Euro, Delit, and some people suck Euro's dick crazy. But Delit,
Yeah,
Maguire's not great, but Maguire's okay. Luke Shaw's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like they have some good defenders, like in individuality. But United aren't, in my opinion, we have a better defense than United. In my opinion, I think United's defense could be got if we play touchline wingers high and wide. You know what I'm saying? If Kudus was available, you play Kudus, play Odebear, play Kolo Muani, and you play Xavi. That has to be the front four if Kudus is available. Don't see why you change it because them four was cooking. And then I'd damn near play the same 11 as Copenhagen. Damn near. I'm not gonna lie.
A very similar 11. I would do a very similar 11. I think there'll be just minimal changes in that. We'll get into when we do the lineup builder what lineup we should do specifically. I was going to ask you about the shape because we've seen that shape a few times this season. You know, sort of out of possession, the 4-4-2 shape with Xavi acting as he's like a striker out of possession, isn't he? He's operating in the two up top with Kolomwani. Do you like that shape? I've been really impressed with it. Since he's made that change and we've sort of gone into that, and it seems to happen whenever Odebert's playing, we go into that shape where Odebert is a defensive winger in some sense. Sort of he's covering sort of the role where Xavi would drop in. Xavi stays forward and he drops in. But then once we get on the ball, the one thing you see, and I think it works, and I know a lot of people don't like seeing Brennan Johnson on the pitch because he doesn't offer much on the ball. But one of the things people actually don't is what he does off the ball. Is the distraction he creates for that defender, the second guessing of, oh, is Brennan gonna run? Is Brennan gonna run in behind? Always checking their shoulder actually creates a lot of space and expands the back line. And that's what we saw in that game. But I think in this game, with Kudus in that 1v1, I think we could definitely be a lot more dangerous. But I'd like to see him giving Kudus more license to roam and sort of shifting Kudus inside. Because what you said earlier about giving Porro more freedom to push up, the reason why I'd want Paulinho as opposed to, let's say, Bentancur again, is because Bentancur could drop in between the centre-backs and act as a third centre-back if needed.
Yeah.
Giving Porro the license to just then push up with Udogie and then allowing Kudus and potentially Odebert and Udogie do their thing, but allowing Kudus to tuck in and give us more options inside. Because as much as I've really liked Kudus, I don't know about you, but in the last couple of games, I think it's becoming a bit too predictable what he's going to do, and it's going to get a bit too easy to read. Look, he's going to go down the line and then try to combine with someone before putting a cross in the box.
Yeah, you know what it is, what separates things with Kudus is the reason it's kind of become too predictable is because he hasn't had the ability to link up with someone because he's always getting doubled up. And a lot of the reason why he's still been getting doubled up is A, because we were playing Xavi Simons on the left. And then B, when Xavi Simons was playing in the middle, he wasn't playing well. So people just like, we're just going to go fucking Mark Kudus anyway. I think with Kolo Muani, healthy and fit and able to play minutes and impact the game, with Xavi Simons in the 10, with what we're hoping is like a turn in form for him, it's not going to be as easy to just go and just double team Kudus now. That's what we're hoping anyway. But for example, one of the most predictable players was Iron Robin, but you couldn't stop Iron Robin because the amount of quality that was always around him. It's like, you know what he's going to do, but you got Ribery on the other side. You know what I'm saying? You got Lewandowski, or you got Gomez up top, and you got Philip Lahm, and you got so many of these players just around Robin, to where it's like you got to deal with so many people. You don't have the license to just throw two man at Iron Robin and just shade him down the touchline. You can't do that. So when it comes to Kudus, yes, he's predictable in some aspect, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing all the time. I think it's just he's trying to go to what works for him usually because he's been limited in his options. Yeah. So what do? You always just try and throw out your best. You throw out your best weapon when you feel like it just backed into a corner. I think when we have Kolo Muani there to link play with him, Xavi Simons to link play with him, you have Odebear on the left who's just not completely useless. So you know you're going to get a couple breaks in possession because the ball will go down the left side. I think it'll give Kudus more confidence and more license to try different things. So I'm not really too worried about Kudus being predictable. I just think, I think once the elevation of the team the performance as it gets better. I think we'll see better from Kudus.
We'll see better from Kudus, yeah, definitely. I think his performance is like with most of your better players, but like the creative ones in particular. Once you start to see the team play better in possession, you'll start to see him be a lot more creative and a lot more dangerous. But yeah, I think the biggest concerns for him is just the how we're going to deal with the teams doubling up on him. I think it's taken a bit out of him intensity-wise, because we've seen in the last couple of games, like Cucurella just manhandled him. He tried to get inside, he couldn't get the ball inside, and it's impacting him. But apparently he's got a knock. One thing I did see, and I know Mr. Udang, you said he's not available. I see a quote from him basically saying that he should be available and that he's just out for the Manchester United game. Now, I don't know. We're going to have to wait for team news that comes out around 1:30 from Thomas Frank to confirm whether he is actually available. Mm-hmm. But I think Kudus should be here, because Frank even said for the last game it was just a knock. But big up to Ulrika, man. Appreciate you. First time over here and dropping the super sticker, where she is in a sunny mood, a good mood. Well, that's what we love to see, Ulrika. I'm glad you're enjoying your time over here. But we aren't... like I said, we're not just doing banter. We're not doing this ain't a panel show, innit? So I don't have to defend my team and war everyone. But I will be back to that 12 p.m. where I cook Cass, and the rest of them are never a foul. So look out for that one if you do want to see me on a panel show. I appreciate creators who spend their time talking to Tottenham. All right, come on, man. We're not over here hating on players. Controversial. We looked better without Kudus.
We did, but I think that's because we dominated midfield. Again, like, when was the last time we dominated midfield in a game? We're going to have to go back games to find the last time we dominated the midfield. When you dominate the midfield is the most important part of the pitch, in my opinion, anyway. Yeah. If you dominate the midfield, the defense and the attack will just follow. And it just created, once the midfield was just locked down by us, it gives other players license. We saw Romero and Van de Ven don't run the length of the pitch if they're not confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reason why they were able to run down. Bentancur running all the way down, bro. But not Bentancur, Pelinia for his goal, sorry. Running all the way down the length of the pitch. And it's because once you get that midfield locked down, the players just play with a sense of freedom. I think that's what generates the freedom is, damn, we've really got a lock hold of this game. And the best way to do that is just shutting the midfield down. Don't let them take control of that midfield, because once the midfield's gone, they just have to go from defense to attack. They have to just play transition football.
Yeah.
And we're very good. We're a very physical team. I think we're underrated physically. That was about to be a crazy pause. But we have tall players. Like, a lot of players are tall. You know, I was about to use the word beginning with L. It was crazy, bro. I can't lie. I got a safety pause that. But I really think that we're underrated physically. We've got a lot of tall players. A lot of our players are 6 foot and taller. You know what I'm saying? It's really just Porro who's short, but everyone else is like 6 foot plus.
Yeah.
So we've got teams that can be physical and be up there with most of the teams, in my opinion, in the world, physically wise, not in terms of talent, just in terms of physicality, one-on-one matchups. So if we're able to lock that midfield down, I believe that will just cause problems for teams. That's why I've been so hell-bent on Thomas Frank changing the tactics, adapting, not even adapting, but just trying new stuff to get that midfield locked down, because you'll see that level of freedom like we saw against Copenhagen. Imagine Kudus is there. Imagine Kudus was playing instead of Brennan Johnson when we have the midfield locked down. Bro, he'd probably get like 3 GA by himself. In my opinion, the way we was playing, the amount of space Brennan Johnson was getting, the way Xavi Simons was finding him. Imagine that was Kudus there. That's why I want to see that midfield locked down.
The thing is, though, it's never going to be Kudus there, because I feel like teams just they'll change their whole game plan when it's Kudus out there. So I don't think we'll ever get Kudus to having the same freedom that Brennan Johnson did down our right hand side, because
it'll be different for sure.
Not that no one's going to double up on Johnson. I think a lot of people don't mark, like they don't man mark Johnson. Like, I remember going into games, if you had a tricky player, someone who's really good with the ball at their feet, someone who can run with it, the way you're going to defend them is you're going to keep really tight to them. You're going to be tugging their shirt, literally like Cucurella done to Kudus. You're not giving them no space, no time to operate. Johnson gets space and time to operate because people are confident, like, run at me, bro. Try something. Do me a thing. Like, show me your back.
Think about the way Xavi Simons was balling, though. And then think about if they're trying to double up on Kudus. That's a long day in itself. Xavi Simons scores the goals to the Brennan. You see what I'm saying? But that's why I'm like, I understand.
It's different when Xavi's dropping the money sleeves, bro. It's different when he's out here dropping the money.
Hey, don't do a Journey United preview, bro. We're gonna get clipped up like crazy, bro. Don't do it on NAF, bro. But that's what I'm saying. Like, of course, Brendan Johnson, he's a very one-dimensional player. He's a very like just run and gun kind of player. I know if Kudus, he won't score the goal that Brendan Johnson scores. Like he won't score those type of goals. But at the same time, if Kudus is getting doubled up on with Xavi Simons and Colomwani balling, with Odegaard balling on the left side,
is that Mike's?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, salute to Charlie, bro. But Charlie's been roasting Mike. There was a time where his profile picture was Mike's bold spot, bro. It's a long day, bro. He's about to be out here just violating, bro. It's tough. It's tough. Shout out Charlie, though. That's my guy, fam.
Shout out Charlie, man. But yeah, no. If Simmons does ball out, it will give Kudus some freedom. So we'll have to see about that. Obviously, we're gonna have to see who starts this weekend. Let's do a lineup builder.
You have to get up as well. I don't mind.
Yeah, we'll leave it to E to get up before I start freezing and everything. Start moving in slow motion.
I don't know how you get like as many ads as you do though, because I never really get ads when I use this shit.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I've got some malware on my computer. I get crazy ads, bro. Unless have you actually got like a virus blocker? You might, if that might stop all your pop-ups and shit.
That's fair, because I use Brave in it, the browser thing called Brave, and it just stops fucking like.
I'm just a Chrome guy. That's probably what it is. Chrome is loaded up with hella ads.
433 is that all right?
Yeah. We do 433. You know what it is.
All right, well,
we know who the whole. Do you know what? We know most of the backline.
Yeah. You think Romero starts though? Is a question.
Yeah, Romero starts. That's no doubt. I think bro, from we saw João Pedro shift dancer, my man needs a couple weeks off. He does. He needs a couple weeks off. Get back in the gym. Yeah. I need to see some muscle, eat some pounded jam, some fufu. Like go and take an international break to get in touch with the homeland, because you need to build up some more bone density, because we know the man them back home, their bone density is different. Danso ain't got that one. He really ain't got that one right now. So it's looking a bit tough.
Fair. Well, we know these. I'm gonna leave the rest, because if Richarlison starts,
no, Richarlison don't start.
That's what I'm saying. If Richarlison starts, we might have to riot, bro.
After the last, bro, I might have
to not watch this game if I see Richarlison starting. I'll be honest. I refuse, innit? So Colomwani has to start.
He took the piss. What did you think? Because obviously,
I was so mad. We're 4-0 up here. Dade Scarlett nutmegs the brother, gets fouled, and then Richarlison takes it.
He literally created the whole chance by himself. It was a nothing chance. He created it, and Richarlison. I don't know if you clocked. As soon as the penny got, Richarlison ran to the ball, picked it up, and walked off. He didn't even say nothing. He just walked off.
Bro. He's
a scumbag.
I don't want, bro. Thomas Frank said, I don't want with dickhead. If you're gonna ban Basuma from the team, ban this guy Richarlison. I don't care, bro. And as soon as January hits and you know you can take one player out or something like that, bro, take this guy Richarlison out of the Champions League squad. I'd rather you put Tell there. I'll be honest. I'd rather you, because Tell would, any other player in the Spurs squad would give the ball to Dane Scarlett, bro. Yeah. Every other, it's just this one dickhead Brazilian, fam. Get him, just ban him, please. From the squad.
Yeah, 100. And the biggest thing I remember is just a year ago when I was at the game against AZ Alkmaar is Maddison gave him the penalty. Maddison was the penalty taker. He was going to take the penalty, but he gave it to Richarlison. And Richarlison was like mad appreciative. He's like, yeah, got his goal. And you know Richarlison, you get gassed when he gets his goal. He's jumping, he's running, doing his little celebration. To go take it off the young G, who was about to get his debut goal. A guy that, let's respectfully, you would have watched him because you've been at Spurs for like 3 years. You would have been playing with him. You'd have been doing training sessions with him. You'd be out there doing like striker drills, particularly just with him for years. And this guy, you're just like, yeah. I don't care about your goal.
I'd rather, bro, ban this Richarlison, brother.
Ban him, bro. You know what it is? You know why he done it as well? He done it because he hasn't scored since his debut in the Champions League against Marseille when he scored those headers. In his first season, and he got a couple goals. Like, he has not scored a Champions League goal since then, so he's just clutching, isn't he? He's desperate.
Bro, ban this fucking you, bro. Get him gone, bro.
Yeah. I'm so glad he missed it. Honestly, I could never be happy about Spurs missing a penalty, but that one I was actually happy. I was like, yeah, I'm glad he missed this one. I hope.
No, I hear it.
But back to the lineup. I think Oh, why? Yeah, why you got
Oh
a
yeah,
doggy?
why should I get right back? What the fuck? I think I meant to type in Poro. What the fuck?
Yeah, and it just came a doggy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I actually feel like it's gonna be a doggy, you know, because Udogie only played for an hour. Spence apparently picked up a knock at the start of the week. He obviously played midweek, but he has played a lot of minutes as of recently. And I think maybe watching a game, like you said in the last game, seeing how we attacked, I think he's gonna lean on Udogie. So I think he'll go with Udogie.
I'd hope so. Because I can't lie. First of all, shout out Manny and my guy. But what I've low key like, and I'm glad people started to realize this because I was saying this last year. Spence ain't better than Poro and Udogie. Like he isn't, and I'm glad people are like starting to see that.
He's defensively better than both.
He's defensively better, but he's not better than these two. Like he's on the same level as them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that because obviously Spence hadn't played really at all, and then he came through and was the best player on the Ange, and everyone kind of overrated him a bit. And it's like I fuck with Spence, but Spence is not better than either of them. He's on the same level because of how good he is defensively, but he shouldn't be fully starting. You know what I'm saying? Spence shouldn't be starting. He should be someone who's rotated in and out with Udogie and Poro. So I think in our best 11, I don't think Spence makes it. Personally, I wouldn't.
I'd like to see Spence more down the right-hand side to actually judge him at a good level going forward. Because I've seen him go forward down the right-hand side. He's a lot more comfortable. He can dribble.
He's better, yeah.
He can run properly and take on his man. But on the left-hand side, so limited. So, yeah, I would agree with you there. In the midfield, not going to lie, you want Bentancur, I want Paulinho. I don't actually know who it's going to be. I've got a feeling it might be both of them. So let's go to the chat.
I'm assuming it'll be Paulinho. Let's see what the chat says. But
yeah, what's chat saying? Mr. Udang. In fact, yeah, what are you saying, Mr. Udang? I'm going to come directly to you, bro. Bentancur, Paulinho, who starts? Is it one of them? Is it both of them? Who's in that midfield? Ghosted, which is the pair? I want the regulars in here to let us know their thoughts. You guys can help build this one. Paulinho, Saar, Mr. Udang. Let's see what Ghosted puts in. If he has the same one, then that's the lineup. Because to be fair, I think that's very likely. I think Saar's back in a team.
Paulinho, Saar, and Xavi. Because we know Xavi Simons will play. So
Xavi Simons is starting. There's no doubt. Like off the back of that performance, he's starting. Thomas Frank's.
I think the front four picks itself if Kudus is healthy. I think even if Kudus isn't healthy, I think the front four still picks itself. You'd have to go with the same from Copenhagen. So I think Brennan Johnson will play. Because remember, he's suspended for 3 games. So we're going to see Brennan Johnson in the Prem a lot more now. Because he got a straight red, remember? So he's 3 games suspended. So he won't be here for PSG, Slavia,
say that
or Dortmund. So in my opinion, no, because you got to think about it. On the right side now, who's going to start there? If Kudus will be there for sure. But let's say you start Kudus and Odegaard on the wings. Who's going to come on the right? You might have to shift Odegaard to the right and then bring on Tell on the left or some shit like that. Like Brennan Johnson was the backup right back for the Champions League, and now he's gone for 3 games. So,
all right. So he's probably
you get what I'm saying
in the game.
Yeah. Right. So Odegaard can play on the right.
Arsenal game, man. It's going to impact our Arsenal game. I'm so fuming. Hopefully, we have some players back for that. Apparently, some players are due back from injury. I've seen Dragusin in actual training yesterday.
That's good.
Not really going to have a massive impact, but
that's good. We need a
can't wait to see Solanke and Kulu back in, man. Once I see those two, I'm gonna be like, all right, this team's pulling back together.
Yeah, that's why I want top 6 so bad, man. Because with signings and getting rid of some players, with everyone healthy, that we crip walk to that Europa League next year, bro. I really believe that if we finish in the Europa spot this season, we roll over any team to get Europa next season. That's personally how I feel about it.
Yeah, I suppose we literally would. We literally would. I wouldn't
roll over teams, man. Like,
not saying I wouldn't mind, but Thomas Frank second season, another trophy. We can't complain, you know them.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's why, like, I don't mind if we because I don't see us making a final anyway. I just want that Europa League spot because we're not good enough to like win the champs, obviously, and we're not good enough to compete in the champs long term, and we're not good enough to compete for the title. So I would just personally just focus Europa. Just do a Sevilla thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just finish in that Europa spot. Just bring home as many Europa Leagues, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, just establish consistent winning. You know what I'm saying? While we build up the team, while everyone's getting fit, because a lot of our best players are injured. You know, Kulu, Madders, injured. Obviously, with Solanke, he's not our best striker no more because they're Colomwani, but our best striker before. Solanke injured. You know, Romero in and out the lineup. You know, Udogie in and out the lineup. So, like, it's not like we have to compete for top 4. I don't think any Spurs fan realistically thinks we can compete with Liverpool and Chelsea and Arsenal and, you know what I'm saying, and them, man. But, bro, picking up some domestic cup or picking up a Europa League every couple years, like, that's a good start. That's a good lift off for Tottenham. For a team that ain't won a trophy in 17 years, winning 2 Europa Leagues in 3 years.
Yeah,
you know
it's a good foundation to set for the team just to build that confidence. I'm not being funny. You win these competitions, you start to feel more confident when you're going into the Champions League in these one-off games that you can beat the bigger teams and so on. So,
yeah, man.
Yeah,
and SLD, yeah.
I'd like to finish in Champions League spot this year, though. I'm not gonna lie.
SLD, yes. Europa League is our level right now. As of right now, yes. But it's not that we're that far off from Champions League level. It's just right now we've got players out. Plus, we need to get rid of some players, and we just need to bring in that caliber
higher
of player.
quality level players.
We just have to replace the deadwood with like a Kulu caliber or a Kudus caliber player. Then we're a Champions League level team. But as of right now, with players out and the deadwood at the club, we're a Europa League team. In my opinion, we're the top end of Europa League, but we're still a Europa League level team right now. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. I think obviously Champions League, if you want to win the Champions League, you need to be of a high level. Now, just to be in the Champions League, we're at that level, but I don't know if we just want to be in the competition just to be there, but we'll have to see. Paulinho and Sarr was the pair that was chosen, though. I got it as well. I think a lot of people were saying Sarr has a good game against Man United. I'm not gonna lie, Bentancur usually has really good games against Man United, but I'd hold him out of this team. So I'll just go Paulinho, Sarr, Simmons, man. I think that's and then obviously like I said, the front line sort of proves itself. Going off the last game, I think Odebert's gonna get another start. Odeberт, he had one of his more impressive games. And also, we just don't, like I say, we don't really have anyone else start out on that left. Odebert's been the favoured option this season so far. So I think we go Odeberт on the left, Kudus out on the right. If it's not Kudus, we know who it's going to be. It's going to be Jono. So
yeah, I see some people saying that they disagree and all that with this being Europa League level. We are Europa League level right now. We are. We're not what the team looks like in 2 years. So we putting Kudus there. Sorry,
what are we doing it? Yeah,
I'm saying like. If we're being, let's be honest with ourselves. We're not Champions League level, bro. Like we're just. It
depends what you mean by Champions League level. Like we're not Champions League. We're not ready to compete.
We're not compete. We're not ready to compete. That's what I mean.
No, that's what he means, people, and that's what I think people are failing to understand. Like we're at the level of good enough to be in the Champions League, but we're not.
I'm not thinking about just being in competitions.
Being there to win it, and we could win the Europa League right now with this squad again. Like we could. If we were like Sevilla, we'd be going back into Europa League, winning it, going back in, challenging, and that's what he means Europa League level. I get.
Yeah, like I'm not in there for participation awards. Like right now, we're just participants in the champs. We're not going to be winning that competition. We will. When I say what level we are, we will win the Europa League. Like when our squad's fully healthy and we get rid of some of the deadwood. So that's why I say by next season, because we'll have 2 transfer windows. We'll be able to get rid of some of the deadwood. We'll have all our players coming back from injury. So. Once all of that takes place, I'm projecting us to steamroll the Europa League. That's what I'm projecting, because that's what we should be doing. There's no reason why we have a bunch of winners in the team. If that's what people want to do, oh, you man don't have the winners mentality. We have that now with all these man because they've all won something. Even Kudus won at West Ham. So all of these men have won something. So no one can tell me about winners mentality and all of that kind of shit because they all have that. And we're going to have better players. We're going to have Kulu and Madders back. You know what I'm saying? Mainly Kulusevski because man, I know my thoughts on Maddison. He's going to be cooked by the time he comes back and he's proper healthy. But we're going to have our players back. We're going to have more players. Xavi would have been developed into a better player. Odegaard will be better. Tell will be better. I don't know how much better. Bergvall and Sarr will be better. All of these men will be better, fam. Plus bringing in that level that we need. Then we can start talking about, okay, now we're progressing to that top 4 discussion and then the Champions League, winning the Champions League. But for the next couple of years, I'm sorry, we're not competing for top 4. We're not competing for the Champions League. We are competing
for top 4.
Not right now, we're not.
Yeah, we are. The teams above the Premier League, the level of the Premier League is not high enough for us not to compete for top 4. Chelsea are not that good. going forward. They're better than us, but they're not that good going forward.
I don't think Chelsea are that good either. But I just don't think that. I think the injuries are just what's going to stop us, not the squad level.
I think that's fair. That's fair.
Because I'm taking into account the injuries. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm taking into account the injuries. That's why when they come back next season, then we gonna steamroll that shit. But no, I'm not saying we're Palace and Forest, because Palace and Forest aren't going to win the Europa League. Palace aren't even in the Europa League.
English fans actually think that Nottingham Forest can win Europa League. They think Palace can win Conference League, and they don't realise. And a lot, far too often, especially Premier League fans, is they completely underrate how good these foreign sides are. And that's why when we've seen Qarabag, to have a good performance. I remember watching Qarabag last year. They had a striker, Juninho. They was giving us mad problems. We beat them 3-0. But that game was not a comfortable game. They could have scored a few.
They just roll over teams like Galatasaray as well. Like, they just beat Liverpool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
when we have a bad, like, they just about beat us 3-2, and we have our 10 men, we had our second team out. It was like, you man lost to Galatasaray, Europa League level team, and it's like, no, you man, this is what happens. People disrespect these teams, and then you get beaten by these teams. Forest last night against FC Congrats, yeah? Man, like FC Congrats. They couldn't score a goal. So this, again, a team that people were saying Forest are Europa, they're not even Europa League level.
Their man will get into the Europa. That's what they get into the Europa. We win the Europa. That's the difference, fam.
That's the difference.
We get into the champs. We don't win the champs. That's the difference, bro.
Yeah, man. So we know how it plays out. And Manny, shout out to you. I think he definitely agrees with you here, innit? But that's what we were doing. We were doing a predicted lineup for what Frank does more than what we think will happen. And I think Frank does go with Paulinho, because Paulinho got the rest weekend. Big up to Yassa as well.
By the way, you know what's crazy as well? Galatasaray got knocked out by AZ Alkmaar, and we went and beat AZ Alkmaar in the route to winning the Europa.
They got smacked up.
They got smacked. It was like 4-1 or some shit. They got smacked. So it's like, does Liverpool lose to AZ Alkmaar now? You know what I'm saying?
Like, Bodo Klimt beat someone as well this season. Watch. They're gonna.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy how people would just talk about these teams because they don't know, because of their ignorance, the team is shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just find it funny, innit? Like, just English fans are the most, like, they're the most ignorant fans I've ever seen in my life, innit? Because they just have, they're part of the best league in the world. So by that standard, everyone else is just not that good unless you're Real Madrid or Barca or Bayern or PSG. If you're not one of those teams, the English fan just thinks you're just shit, and everyone is just shit because they ain't never heard of your team.
Yeah,
it's crazy to me.
I remember Wolfie laughing at that Midtjylland team. They're top of the Europa League. They're cleaning out everyone. They're 4 wins out of 4.
Literally, I'm saying, like,
the same team that Wolfie and Forest fans are trying to disrespect and laugh at. Just a few weeks ago,
people will laugh, but it's minor, because where did the scouts go for these good players? They go to these teams that you're laughing at right now, bro. Shakhtar Donetsk is another one of these teams. People will laugh at Shakhtar. How many great players have come from Shakhtar Donetsk? You know what I'm saying, bro?
Fulham just brought that Brazilian Kevin from there. I'm telling you, he's the next one up, bro.
He's a problem, bro. That's what I'm saying. Is like, it's always going to be. Yeah, it's always going to be Forest, but that's what I'm saying. These men will go to these teams, scout their players, and bring in players. But then we'll also call these man shit. Like, you didn't just get your players and you didn't just scout that. Like, I'm telling you, man, these English fans, bro, they don't know what they're talking about, bro. They don't.
A lot of questionable opinions. I'm not going to lie there. But look, people, just before we end up, can we get predictions in the chat? Let us know your predictions for this one. Is it going to be a Spurs win? Is it a Manchester United win? What's the scorelines? Slap them in the chat now. Make sure you're smashing the likes as well, man. I can't even lie. I ain't even told you guys once this show. We're on 35 likes, which is pretty decent. Can we get that up to 40? Just because. Also, if you don't know, I mean, you can get to know in the link in the pinned comment. You can become a member. You can be like Godfrey. You can have that exclusive badge next to your name. Or be like E as well, who does have that exclusive badge next to his name. And get a VIP whenever you come into the channel. So, yeah. Go and tap the link in the pinned comment, and make sure you don't forget to subscribe to E, whose channel is in the title. So you generally can't miss it. It's so easy. You just tap on the app. It's a little bit blue. Click on it, and you go straight over to E's channel. So yeah, people. And if some of the mods can just slap that in the chat, would be appreciated. Just before we do end up, let's go to some of these. Let's go to some of these predictions. PFC, United fans are in here heavy today. So they got 2-1 United. Z's got a 2-1 Man United. SLD's got 3-1 Man United. Manny's got a 3-2 Spurs. Charlie's got
Manny.
Spurs 3-1. Godfrey's got a 2-2 draw. One Man Army's got a 2-1 Spurs win. Saeed's getting cooked. Don't worry, he's getting cooked. Make sure you guys go watch that preview as well. I've got a shorter video preview out with Saeed that come out last night, so you can go get the link there. I'll post a link in the chat before I end. That's what I'll do. Mr. Udang 3-1, Ulrika 4-0, Rediloshi 0-0, Jun 2-0. Ghosted 2-0. Aye, the Spurs. At first, it started off with heavy Man United wins. Now the Spurs contingent has come in. And big up to man like Charlie Hamilton for becoming a new member. Yeah. We got a new member in the house. Charlie, VIP, a new delinquent. Yeah, so unruly settings when you come up in the house. A new delinquent has joined. Big up to Charlie. But yeah, look, E, come to you. Prediction. You don't have to do a scoreline, but if you're feeling nice, throw a scoreline in there. How's the game going to play out this weekend?
I think we're going to draw, to be honest. I think our home form just ain't great. But I think that's more of a mentality thing with the players. At this point, it's almost like the boogeyman, isn't it? It's like, oh, we're at home again. And, you know, it just kind of casts that kind of mentality down on the players. But I think it's going to be a draw, in my opinion. I don't think United beat us. However, they're going to have chances. I don't think there's going to be good chances for both teams. It's going to be very end-to-end. But I think inevitably, I don't think we have the goal scoring to beat United. I don't think United will be able to beat us because I think I just rate our defense. So I'll say 1-1.
I hear it. I'm not going to lie. I do think for some reason this game does have a draw written over it. It does. For some reason, it seems like it's got a draw over it. But I'm going to predict a win because we need that 5 in a row. And Man United are our bitches. Like, I slap that shit. Deal with them too easy. Yeah. So I'm thinking this week, early kickoff. They've had a week off. They're going to wake up, long travel. I always hear about Manchester to London. It's a long travel. Pep always complains. So I'm thinking we're going to hear the same thing from Amarim. The players aren't ready. And it's gonna hit them. So, yeah, man, look. I think it's like Mr. Dang says, win or bust, because I need a win. And we need a statement performance, like you said a few weeks ago. We do need one. This could be that. I'm aiming on Thomas Frank and I'm putting the pressure on for him to do it. So, yeah, look, confident that we can get a win. We're going to need a very good performance and we're going to need some of our players to step up. But, hey, I'm confident that it can happen, man. Who from Boondock saying one... Wait.
Oh, Huey. Oh,
I just did what you said. I was reading it. You know, when you're reading it, I was thinking, what's the other about? I was like, oh.
But you didn't ask me for chess. You asked me for my prediction. My prediction is my prediction.
I didn't say chess. We're not on a panel show as well, so you don't have to fake chess over here. And facts, look, if you do want Saeed Tears, I did just post the link in the chat. So you can now go watch that preview. If you go click this, I'll make it the pinned comment real quick before we do end up. If one of the mods can quickly post Elijah's link in the chat, it will be much appreciated just before we do go. Elijah, you got any lives coming up today that the people then need to look out for?
Yes. It's Friday and at 9 p.m. God of War Ragnarok. We're starting that game now. I didn't get to do it on Sunday because I had stuff to do. But yes, Friday tonight. Also got SNN exclusive dropping today around 5 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? I got the man them to cook in it because hey, they were disrespecting me on their mics and then were disrespecting me on the podcast. I didn't like it, bro. So man, I had to bring SNN back.
Podcast, like studio settings.
Not studio, that man are broke, but stream via StreamYard, innit? Via StreamYard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they were disrespecting me, so I had to, you know what I'm saying? I had to call my twin in. You know what I'm saying? We had to get to cooking. So we got that coming up around like 5 o'clock. So around that kind of time, innit? Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, man. Look, people, look out for that. 5 p.m. The return of SNN. Love that show, man. It's fun. Make sure you people are tuning in. Honestly, it's just always catching you off guard. There's always something mad going on in there. Some left field take. Do you know what? You should have actually touched on the Adobe stuff in there. That would actually be a good one because I think we'd like to hear what presenter E has to say about that. You know, because our players are getting stuck up. They're getting stuck up, man. It's true.
We've been a bit lazy around here, but the videos are coming back, man. If anything, I'm prioritizing videos a bit more over streams, innit? So if I need to talk about Tottenham, innit, man would just be like, yo, I'm free, send a link, and we'll just chop it up on the channel, innit?
Yes. Sorry. My fucking monitor's getting mad. It keeps turning on and off. So I can't see you guys, but you guys can see me. Oh, I'm back. Here. Oh no, it's off. Look, people. Oh fuck me! I actually don't know what's going on. It's getting crazy right now.
Hey, nah, that's crazy.
It's live or just going black and white.
Oh shit, bro.
HDMI or if it's the actual thing, I'm gonna have to sort it out. Oh my god. Anyway, people, look. My screen is going bad. If I show you guys what's going on right now on my screen, I'm gonna take a quick recording so you can see. I'm actually not lying, yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Going crazy. Right
hey, the whole setup is just falling apart, fam.
It's going crazy. But this is what I'm seeing, people. Yeah, if you can see my camera, it's just turning on and off, bro. It's just blinking. I don't even know what.
Oh my god.
I want to end the stream, but I can't even end the stream. I don't know where the fucking button.
We'll have to store, bro. We're gonna have to store.
Hey, wait. Let's check it. HDMI in, out, shake it all about. Hey, yeah, I know it's working fine for you, man, because you ain't. I've got multiple screens in it, sir. Everything's still plugged in. It's just the monitor.
Monitors on. So right. Your whole setup's falling apart, bro.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I need to get a new monitor. I've been trying to. We're getting a whole new setup soon, man. You guys just keep showing your support. Keep running up the videos. Keep running up the live. Actually, well, yeah, I'm going live with Jay. I'm literally heading.
You're doing cave conversations. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing a cave conversation. So I am gonna head straight over to Jay, people. So make sure you join us over there to run up some more. Hey, Tottenham chat. Any questions you got, please save it for that one.
Send him a fraud raid, fam, because he's Frank out in it.
Yeah, for real, fraud raid. This is a fraud raid.
Yeah, man, he's Frank out. I mean, to be fair, Mr. Udang's Frank out as well, bro. So he's not going to do a fraud raid.
It's crazy, Mr. Udang's put it in there as well. But yeah, fraud raid, people. Gonna head over there now. Until next time, let me just get this. I'm gonna click the button now, just so yeah, the screen don't black out again. But big up.